Hello and welcome to this edition of Trojan Talk. I'm Paige Ray. Joining us today is Kyle Gassiott, Director of Radio here at Troy and an adjunct instructor here in the Hall School of Journalism and Communication. Kyle, thanks for being here.
Always happy to be here, Paige.
Thank you. Now, most of our viewers, they recognize you. We've talked a lot here on Trojan Talks, but we haven't really talked much about you and your career and your background and what you do here at Troy. So do you mind just kind of telling us how you got to be here at Troy University in the first place?
Sure. Always happy to do that. I know a number of people have already heard this story, but I'm happy to share it again. I have been here now 10 years, actually, just in August.
Congratulations.
So I'm very excited. And I have been, from the get-go, able to jump in and do a lot of reporting, do a lot of connecting with our listeners and teaching our students. And before that, I think we talked a little bit in some of my other appearances. I've done a lot of reporting for NPR and for ABC News. So I was able to bring that experience to this job. And also I lived in Alabama for 3 years in another part of Alabama before I took this job too. So I was able to bring those experiences over as well. But yes, I mean, I have been here and been director of radio, and now, as you mentioned, I'm teaching as well. I added that recently.
Yes. Now, tell us a little bit. I take it you were in the industry before you came to Troy, so can you tell us a little bit about that work?
Sure. I got going in radio when I was in grad school at the University of Iowa, and I started working for Iowa Public Radio. They let a music major wander in and start doing music reviews, and then one day during the fund drive, they couldn't send a reporter out, so I got to go out and do a national story. And so then from there, I started working for Iowa Public Radio, which is a new form network. I was their Sunday morning host. And after that, I went to work for ABC News as a Carnegie Fellow in the investigative division, and we did some stories that aired on Good Morning America, and some that ended up on Nightline as well. And then after that, I went to NPR, and I was there for the election of 2008 in the election unit, which was very exciting. And then after that, I came to Alabama. But I didn't stop there because news happens everywhere.
It doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop. There's a lot to report here. So I was able to, through my contacts, keep reporting some for NPR, and also that's how I got involved with the station, guest hosting some of the programs here. And so when the job came open, I applied, and here I am.
And now here we are. So let's jump now to where we are present day. You teach some classes here in addition to those director of radio duties. What classes do you teach?
I have taught classes mostly in broadcast and reporting, advanced reporting, teaching the sports broadcasting class in the spring. Right now I'm teaching a new class. It's very exciting. It's the first class that Troy's ever offered in podcasting.
Oh, wow.
So it's podcasting and audio storytelling, and so we're having a lot of fun so far with that. And then I also teach a class in popular music. It's called Classic Vinyl Rock and Roll. And
I didn't know that was your class.
That is my class, so I teach that class as well.
Oh, okay. See, usually I end these things with, tell us a fun fact about yourself. There it is, midway
we dropped
through.
It already.
There it is. We don't have another fun fact. Well, that's really, really neat. And in addition to those classes, students, I believe, see you a lot at the radio station because you're very hands-on there as well, correct?
Yes, we are here a lot, not only to of course, keep the radio station up and running and as robust as it needs to be for listeners, but also, you're right, for students to be here, that they can come in, and we're, like TrojanVision, we're very open to having students come in at any level of experience that they want to jump in and get going. And so then we're ready and responsive to have them come in and do anything from weather to being live on the air broadcasting the news at certain times to reporting for NPR. They've done that as well. So awesome. We're ready to do that here.
And you also help students post-graduation. I know a lot of folks probably text and email and say, Kyle, this is the first time I've been in something like this. That relationship continues even after they graduate.
Yes, because I think that's the beautiful thing about journalism, is really you're building your network at all times. And what I tell students in my classes and what I tell them when they're working the radio station is, we're not having you come in and do something just for the sake of doing it. Our goal is to help you build a portfolio that you can take somewhere else. So my class assignments are set up that way. What we do on a weekly basis in the radio station with students is set up that way. I make them all get a SoundCloud account and start putting their work there and post it. And so they're building that portfolio and that experience, so it's there. And then you're right. I mean, they'll call you afterwards. I'll call them too, right? They're our network as well.
Yes.
So, you know, if there's something out there that I think that they've got going on that I want to sort of be a part of, then I'll reach out to them. But it's also, as you said, I'm happy to sing the praises of our students whenever I can.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like you're not the first person to say part of the thing that makes Troy so neat and this program so neat is that hands-on experience and the fact that the instructors, the professors, also have real-world experience that they pull from, which I feel like is exactly what you do in your classes.
Yes, and I was very lucky in J school. I mean, I got going in journalism before I started my degree. I finished my master's degree last year in journalism at the University of Iowa. But I was very lucky to have had professional experience before I started. But even when my classes, when stories would come up that I would get pitched from national shows, my journalism professor let me use those as class projects. Mm-hmm. And I tell students that too, because again, it just reinforces, right? You're learning in the class at the same time you're learning in the real world experience. And they can bring that into other students and share with them as well.
I love that. Well, Kyle, I know we could go on and on. Usually our interviews do have a tendency to go on and on.
A little bit.
But I'm so happy that you decided to sit down with us. I know students love to meet you and love to work with you, and we just appreciate you introducing yourself to them in this format.
I'm happy to do it.
Well, thank you for being here, and thank you for joining us on this edition of Trojan Talk.